Hey there, meteorologist Ryan Weekman in the WTOL 11 Weather Center on this weather impact alert day. Wanted to give you an update as we're heading close to the noon hour, as we are still right on track for the potential for strong to severe storms that are expected to develop later on for today. Now, we were talking about 2 waves of thunderstorms. First one, no doubt you've felt this one. Some people reporting hail up to the size of an inch. We had some reports this morning, but you can see most of these showers and thunderstorms are now trending off to the east, and we're going to turn our attention westward and watch as that next wave or round does approach. And we're going to be doing, no doubt about it, storm coverage for today as we expect that second wave when it does develop. Strong to severe storms. Honestly, to me, it looks like probably one of the strongest setups that we've had for severe weather in quite some time. Ingredients are really starting to come together for that to happen. Now, let's take a close little inspection at what we're noticing right now. As I want to pull the radar view out, we've got this warm front that's already come through. This is one of the keys to opening the door, so to speak, for that potential for severe weather. So this warm front, let me draw it the right way for you so we can see it. This warm front, which is now basically from Detroit over towards Columbus, down over to Cleveland, this warm front is opening the door. We've got warm, moist air that's sitting across Indiana right now that's going to come streaming in over the course of the afternoon hours. So that's one of the big ingredients that we're looking for it to come in, and that's obviously what we need. You need the fuel for the storms to develop and for that to happen. So let's look off to the west here. Let's check out what's happening on radar. All right, big view. All right, here we are. We've got a classic springtime setup when it comes to severe weather. There's going to be storms that will happen from Michigan tonight all the way down to Texas and Louisiana. We're right in the heart of it, and when you look at it, Chicago to St. Louis, there's still some thunderstorms that are ongoing off to our west. Let me show you where the bullseye area is, because technically it's just to our south as to where the strongest of the storms are expected, or most widespread storms. Places from southern Illinois all the way down to Arkansas are under a high risk. That's as high as it goes for severe weather. We're still in an enhanced risk. That's a 3 out of a 5 on a 5 scale. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this afternoon we see that trend a little bit higher potentially yet, because of the ingredients that I'm starting to see that are coming together for this chance for severe weather. And so what am I looking at? You might be asking yourself. When I see a storm system like this, that makes me think that this is different than other times in the past where, yes, we've forecasted severe storms, and then you get a morning wave of rain or thunderstorms, and then things just don't quite work out later on in the day. There's a couple things that are different. Number one is we see a clear-cut warm sector developing, and what I mean by that is that's where the warm, moist air is streaming northward, and I'll show you that in just a second. Number two is we've got a clear-cut line off to our west that's going to get reinvigorated as it moves into that, and then that's going to move into our area. So we've got a lot of the overlapping ingredients coming together that will promote that potential for strong or severe weather as we look at the forecast for us later on for today. Now, this line which came through, boy, it had a lot of lightning with it, didn't it? Still does here approaching the noon hour with reported lightning strikes of almost 700 in the last 10 minutes everywhere you see on the screen. This is going to be Cleveland, Akron, and Eastern Ohio's problem here in the next little bit. But there's one thing I did want to check out as we were looking at this. This line of storms, while at times has been severe, it hasn't been producing much in the way of really significant and severe weather for us. So I was going to take a 3D swipe so we could see what was happening, but obviously the system doesn't want to work for us right now. But it would show you that most of these storms are about 20 to 30,000 feet in the air. The storms that we're expecting to develop later today are going to be significantly higher than that. So let's show you where these ingredients are starting to come together, okay? So we've got our radar on the map here. I've also put on the dew point, so the moisture in the atmosphere. The brighter this green shade that you see, the more moisture that there is. And this is one of the most critical missing ingredients that typically we don't have during a severe weather outbreak this early in the season. It's one of the reasons why we're going to be dealing with flooding. It's one of the reasons why we're expecting these storms to be stronger. Moisture equals fuel for these type of thunderstorms and these types of setups. And oftentimes we get thunderstorms in these setups that develop down closer towards the Ohio River and essentially act like a wall and doesn't allow thunderstorms to develop as strong further to the north because the moisture from the Gulf is cut off. That's not the case this time around. Normally, we'd be looking at something where the storms wouldn't develop or be as significant much further north than like a southern Illinois, southern Indiana. But if you notice on radar, there are no thunderstorms here. So when I add in what we call the low-level jet here, this sits about a mile off the ground, and it's very, very critical to storm organization and atmospheric recovery in these sorts of situations. So this thing sits about a mile off the ground. It's ripping out of the south-southwest, and it's allowing for that moisture from the Gulf to move in on a day where, as we're approaching noon, I think we can all agree it doesn't feel like a severe weather day so far. That's going to be changing this afternoon, and it's going to happen. When it does happen, it's going to happen in dramatic fashion. The reason why it doesn't feel like a severe weather day just yet is because of the wind direction. So that's about a mile off the ground. Let me bring you in and show you where the winds are closer towards the surface. I'll take those higher winds off and show you. You can see with these white arrows now where the wind is turning southerly, and it's just south of a line from Fort Wayne to Findlay. That is going to be rapidly changing. Now that we have these thunderstorms out of the way, the southerly wind has really started to blossom. And this afternoon, it's going to turn warmer, it's going to turn muggier. And that means when this cold front comes diving in this evening, it's going to allow thunderstorms to develop in a volatile atmosphere. That means one where thunderstorms are going to absolutely blossom. So we are starting to see all the ingredients starting to come together when I put everything on the map. No, the atmosphere is not ready right now for strong to severe storms, but that's going to be evolving and going to be changing. And if you look at the map, if I were to look to a spot and say, where are thunderstorms coming from? Somewhere in this area, most likely, southern Illinois into central Indiana. That's where thunderstorms, I'd actually probably adjust it just a little bit. You don't see any on here. But over later this afternoon, that's where thunderstorms are likely going to develop. And then they'll start marching our direction. So there's not even anything on radar right now. We just know these ingredients have come together. Okay, so check out our latest hour-by-hour forecast on the map here. This will show us exactly what we're expecting. And even through the afternoon, there still could be a couple waves of these scattered showers that will kind of come drifting on by. But for the most part, a southerly wind starts to pick up. And I have adjusted our time of severe weather up just a little bit. I'm going to include a window as early as maybe 6 p.m., but more likely like around 7 p.m. and after. All bets are off. Severe weather could be developing as early as that time frame for us. Our hour-by-hour forecast shows a couple of these storms trying to develop as early as that time frame. And as we advance on through, you're going to see some of these thunderstorms. This is 9:30 this evening. Those thunderstorms very strong. Here come some of those lines I was talking about out of Indiana. And these are the type of storms where it doesn't take much. The way the atmosphere winds are set up, rotation can happen very easily in these sorts of setups as well. And you'll see by about 2 a.m. or so, then our severe weather threat will have come to an end. So this is one of those situations here where it's going to be several hours in a row potentially where we're dealing with some of these showers, thunderstorms that could be strong to severe. I did want to check this out. I actually haven't looked at this data, so I'm going to look at it with you live as we're approaching the noon hour. And this will show us what the potential storm rotation will be in the atmosphere based on what one of our models is trying to show for us. And it shows some of these storm tracks. So this is called storm rotation, and you can see the general direction of some of these storms. Now, you can't take this for gospel as far as exactly where this rotation is, but it gives you a good idea that storms are going to flare up and there's going to be rotation in them. So this is a tool in our toolbox that does show exactly what might happen as these storms pass on by. And you can see some spots here, especially west or maybe south of Toledo, how some of that storm rotation may be enhanced as we go through the evening. So I just wanted to check that out for myself here, see exactly what was happening with some of that new data, because we're constantly getting some in as we've gone through the day for us. All right, again, we're going to be doing a lot of storm tracking, no doubt, for today. Biggest threats for tonight, again, starting as early as 6 p.m., let's say about 7 p.m. most likely and after. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts hail up to an inch, inch and a half for us, and tornadoes will be possible with the way that the atmosphere is set up for tonight. Power outages, a very real thing. I kind of harped on this a little bit yesterday and over the last 48 hours. With how much rain we've seen, most spots have seen 3/4 to an inch of rain already today. An additional 1 inch or maybe a few spots even up to 2 inches of rainfall tonight will be possible. The roots of the trees have been significantly loosened when the soil is this saturated. And when you get severe storms coming by, those storms can produce what you typically get, strong gusty winds. Well, those trees, which typically are well rooted, aren't because of the saturated conditions. They fall over, and power outage is a very real possibility as they fall into those power lines that are close by on the trees. Hey, I wanted to remind you as well, so we're obviously, if we have a tornado warning, if we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is significantly impacting our area, we're going to be on CBS, no doubt about it. We'll cut into programming. We'll be there for you. Don't forget, tonight, we're going to have extended coverage early in the evening as well, coming up right after a lot of our newscasts tonight. So stick with us here on WTOL 11 Plus. Throughout the day, we'll be cutting in as needed and giving you updates as any of these storms try to develop and move on in. You can see we've got a phenomenal team here. Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers, John Birchfield, who's done extensive work here in the Midwest when it comes to storm coverage. So these guys are going to be absolutely phenomenal here when those storms do develop to let you know exactly what to expect for us. So as far as flood alerts go, we've got widespread flood watches in place, flash flood watches, because we're not just expecting this to be the heavy round of rain. Okay. Yes, it's going to be heavy tonight. We get a little break Thursday, and then I think we've got more on the way for us Friday night, Saturday, and into Sunday. We certainly aren't the only ones. Flash flood watches from Detroit all the way down towards the Texas border. And look at our rainfall outlook. After already picking up 3/4 to an inch of rainfall this morning, could see an additional widespread 2 to 4 inches of rainfall in northwest Ohio, southeastern Michigan. It's going to push a lot of those creeks to their limit. A lot of ditches and rivers are going to start to rise as well. And as we've been saying, yes, ditches rising, creeks rising, that's fine, but you don't want the water rising in your basement. So we've got heavy rainfall ahead on top of what we've already seen, a total, including what we had this morning, of 3 to 5 inches of rain in some places. Going to be very possible. So make sure those sump pumps and those crocks are cleaned out and working just fine. Extended forecast for you here. So this is what we're talking about. We got the alert day today, a little break for Thursday. And then we've got scattered showers here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with some more rain. I don't expect these showers to be severe in the sense of like strong gusty winds or tornadoes, but they're obviously going to be severe in a different fashion, and they're going to bring us more rainfall as we go through the day, and we don't need any rain. The ground's already going to be completely saturated, but nevertheless, that's going to be something that we watch for. Mercifully, it does look quieter for us as we go into next week. As you can see there, high temperatures are more in the 40s, which will be very manageable and hopefully give us a chance to dry out at least a little bit as we go through next week, because we will need every chance that we can get as we look over the course of the next couple of days at very, very wet conditions. Again, alert day in effect for the rest of today. Be smart, be safe out there. We will certainly keep you updated. And if you don't have it yet, get that WTOL 11 weather app as well. If you're watching this on WTOL 11 Plus, which many of you are, I've got the QR code right there. You can scan this. Get that WTOL 11 weather app. So if you've got that smartphone in your hand, does it have a camera app on it? You hold it up here, you zoom into that QR code, it's going to give you the link so you can download it. We personally update it. We'll send you notifications. We've already sent out several exclusive videos on there. So you are one step ahead of what's going on for tonight with the strong storms that do still look very likely to happen starting as early as 6 to 7 p.m. for tonight. We'll keep you updated here on WTOL 11 Plus over on that WTOL 11 weather app. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page, and of course, we'll see you over on WTOL 11 as well. Hope you have a great and safe rest of your Wednesday.